Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Long Story Short, a weekly live Instagram talk show where you, as an audience member, call in to me with a 2-minute story about absolutely anything. I choose a winner at the end of the night, and you take home a prize this week. It's my coveted leather jacket that I purchased from a biker in a Walmart parking lot. It's treated me very well, but I'm 30 now, and it feels like I'm playing dress up when I wear it. That's up for grabs. Wear it to Halloween. Show your neighbors who's boss. Let the whole world know you're nobody to fuck with. A little aside, last week's winner, CJ Goslin, he told a story about finding a prison dildo doing a bunk search. Anyone can be a winner on this show. Absolutely anyone. But the first rule of winning on this show is that you have to contribute. Shout out to Van Gogh Double Espresso Vodka. It's delicious. They don't sponsor me. They probably will never have any idea who I am. But I know who they are and their quality. Oh my goodness, hello.
Hi.
Do you have a story, or is it just 2 minutes of picking?
Oh, 2 minutes of picking. I got that. All right.
All right, do you have a story you can pick?
Yeah, I got a story.
Hell yeah, your 2 minutes starts now.
So I was like a nurse for like a week, and I walk out of my job and I go on break, and I walk out of the grocery store, and there's this dude face down on the bridge, and this fucking fat fucking guy standing over him. And I run over all bushy-tailed, like, "Hi, my name's Scott. I'm a nurse. What's wrong with your friend?" He's like, "My friend's fine. The paramedics are on their way." And then I look down, and there's fucking blood everywhere, and there's fucking this yellow foam everywhere. I'm like, "Buddy, your blood's not good." So I fucking get the guy's face out of his own blood and vomit, and he's not breathing. He's like all fucking dusky, and he's turning blue on his lips and shit. Get him fucking breathing again, and then fucking whack, whack. The fucking fat fuck's hitting me with the fucking cane. He's like, "Let me see your fucking ID. Let me see your fucking ID." And I drop his fucking friend into his pile of blood, and I hear, and then he stops fucking breathing. Stops breathing again. And I fucking get up, and I'm like, your friend's gonna fucking die right now, and you're just being a fucking fat fuck asshole. Like, get the fuck away from me. And there's this crowd gathering, just watching him try to hit me with the cane. They're not trying to help. They're not trying to do shit. Well, I fucking push the fat fuck, and I run back down, get this fucking guy breathing again, throws up yellow foam all the fuck over me, and his friend starts fucking trying to hit me again with this cane, and I grab his cane, throw it off the fucking bridge, get this fucking guy breathing a third fucking time. All right? This guy fucking stands up over me, starts pushing me, so I back off, and then the paramedics come, and the guy died. That's my story.
Damn it. Did you watch him die?
I might have.
So the guy wants to see your ID. What? Well, he disconnected immediately. That's sometimes that's how it goes. The question I was going to ask is, what good would seeing the ID do? Maybe he wanted to see what heritage you were, and he wouldn't trust you if your last name was McDonald or something else Irish, which is what you clearly looked. But God damn it. So story number one, a man died. We've got another call-in going right now. Matthew Elder.
Hey.
How are you, my friend?
Good, how are you?
I'm fantastic. You've got a story, I assume.
Oh, I do have a story.
Hell yeah. Your 2 minutes starts right now.
Once upon a drunken night, it was a brilliant idea after many of beers and blunts of smoked. This was obviously in my younger days, to go down to one Daniel's house and rob the old Plymouth for skateboards. Because why? Because they were, your most prized possession at the time. So we go covert, sneak into his yards, break into the car because that was easy, and steal the skateboards. But on the way home, I blow the transmission in my car, and then we have to call Dan for help. Put the transmissions in the car. It was a good story, good times, young and dumb.
You know, I actually remember this story, and the most fucking annoying part about it is I didn't realize everything was missing from my car until the day after, when I got home and went to wake up. And not only that, you didn't steal skateboards, you stole all my cigarettes. And I was 16, so it took me like 2 days to finally get a pack of cigarettes. And you didn't break into my car. I broke the fucking lock so you couldn't even lock the doors. But I remember this, and I remember being like, man, I thought these guys were my friends.
Good times, brother. Good times.
Well, Matt, thank you very much. I appreciate you calling in. Good to see you're well. Congratulations on everything, my friend.
Hope all is well, buddy.
2 stories now, one of which is a man dying and one of which is me being robbed by my own friends. Fantastic. We have got a call coming in. A little drumbeat. And finally some cheering. Shalom, my friend.
Hello, sir.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you tonight?
I'm fantastic. I am very grateful that you called in. We are 18 minutes in, and I've done about 15 minutes worth of stalling.
Very good.
Yes.
That's an impressive amount of stalling, to be honest.
Thank you so much. I don't feel proud about it. But your 2 minutes, my friend, starts right now.
All right. So I was stationed in Italy in the military. And I'm sure as anyone who has ever been familiar with the military knows that we like to enjoy alcohol. And on that note, we became quite familiar with a man named Wade Boggs. And I'm not sure if you might be or if any of your viewers might be, but there was a challenge that was developed from the famous Wade Boggs, which is he was able to drink 56 beers on a transcontinental flight from New York to California, and that has become a challenge. I think it's a 4-hour flight, so it's become a challenge. It's also made popular in Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Wade Boggs was like a baseball player, right?
He was. He was notorious for his severe alcoholism and not much else outside of that. Yeah. So we took it upon ourselves to have a small gathering, and we all wore white T-shirts in reference to the Always Sunny episode in which they in turn reference Wade Boggs. And every beer you drink, you mark a permanent mark on your shirt, and you tally up your beers. So we were all a number of tally marks deep on our shirts, and my friend at the time, whose house we were drinking at, had a neighbor whose intent was questionable at best, and she might, I guess, in millennial terms, be referred to as a Karen. So everything, yeah, unfortunate. So everything that happened around her, she had to be in control of. And of course, alcohol being involved, there was some raucous activity, as it were. And she took it upon herself to just, according to the outcome of events, decided to call the MPs on the gentleman who was hosting our gathering. And we all, like I said, we all had tally marks of the amount of beers that we drank, which were not minimal. So ultimately the MPs showed up at his house, and we had white T-shirts on, a plethora of open containers. And the MPs got involved, and there was a lot of shouting. And I had to intervene wearing a white T-shirt with 10 or 15 tally marks on it, while he had more tally marks than is respectable for anyone who should be standing, really. And I had to get involved and explain to them not only the Wade Boggs challenge, but why we were all wearing T-shirts that indicated the amount of alcohol, but also simultaneously assure them that we were all sober enough to not need the assistance of the military police at his residence.
I'll be honest with you. I'm fully into this story. The 2 minutes is up. Give me a quick synopsis of the ending of this story, so that I'm not, every time I let people go over, I get bitched at.
He was arrested by the MPs through no fault of ours except for the Karen, and it ended up just being, we had to ultimately explain to our very, very high up bosses why we were called upon by the military police wearing shirts that indicated specifically the amount of beer that we had drank, and had to defend ourselves as to why we were actually in a mind state in which we could function and not get in trouble for such.
Fair enough. So I'm going to put you down as the Wade Boggs story. What was his number? 46, you said?
Wade Boggs, it was in the 50s. 57, maybe. Don't quote me on that, though.
That's... man. That guy's let a lot of people down in his life. If 57 beers is the
I
challenge
think
to have on
ultimately
a 4-hour
himself,
trip.
maybe one could argue. I think the only person he really let down was himself and everyone who then attempted the challenge.
That's fair. And how many tallies do you have on the wife beater you're wearing currently?
Huh?
How many tallies do you have on the wife beater you're wearing currently?
Oh, none. Just egg stains and cigarette ash.
I've got honey mustard myself.
Oh, very good.
Perfect.
Yeah, too.
Thank you very much. You're going down as 57 Wade Boggs.
Excellent.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you, sir.
All right, everybody. We are going right into another story, and it comes from one of my best friends in the whole wide world. The drum roll didn't last quite long enough. No, it's Dylan Marsh.
Hey,
Dylan, how are you?
I'm good, Dan. How are you?
Crowd, please quiet down. I finally got them under control. Dylan, great to see you. Haven't spoken with you in quite a while.
It's nice to see you. I'm a little distracted. We've got two, it's on the TV too, and so it's like delayed.
Man, I wish. I've been trying to figure out a way to do this from my laptop so I don't have to wear headphones and the sound's not all fucked up, but I can't do it.
Yeah, technology's tough.
Yeah.
But
Anyways, Dill, I'm super glad that you called in, and your 2-minute story starts now.
So I was at Salt Hill in Newport drinking alone, and I saw some kids this was years ago. I saw some kids I had gone to high school with that I kind of knew, and they were like, "Hey, why don't you could come drink with us?" So I did. Then I found out. So it was a guy that I knew, a girl that I knew, and the girl's boyfriend. The girl's like, "It's my birthday currently. We are celebrating. You should continue to drink with us. Then there's a party at my house that you were also invited to." I was like, cool, this will be great. So I continued to drink with them. Then they were like, oh, just ride back with us. So I'm riding to her house like a half an hour into the woods with her and her boyfriend. She is blacked out at this point and just keeps puking out the side of the truck and yelling country girl between each puke. We get to the house, and I quickly realize there's not a party. It's just a trailer in the woods with the amount of people I was at Salt Hill with. Then that girl was like, all right, I'm going to bed. You guys have fun. I played one round of beer pong with that girl's boyfriend. Then I took her phone, texted her best friend, was like, you should come to this crazy party, being her. So that girl drove all the way to her friend's house and was like, where's the party? And I was like, I don't know. It's weird she invited you. You should bring me back to town. And so I got to ride back with her.
Damn, that's ingenuity as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I needed to get out.
This is the second time I think that you've called in, and both stories are about you being invited to fake parties.
Yeah, it happens more than I'd like to admit.
That is wild. So you're at Salt Hill drinking with your friends, enjoying your time. This girl comes up to you and says, keep enjoying your time, but we're going to have an even more fun time back at my house. And she invites only the worst section of Salt Hill back to the house, and then Irish goodbyes the party.
Exactly. Well, Irish goodbye her own party to be just a different room in her own house.
I'll be honest, I've Irish goodbyed my own party. I think you were there, actually, when I was living on South Street.
Yeah, I was.
So I can't complain too much.
Video of it.
Oh yeah, we did.
A lot of Steel Reserve.
Dylan, I don't want to build any heat here, but there's a rumor going around that you're trying to steal this show.
I can't confirm it. You know what? Well, really,
can we all agree that you're even doing a great job? Well, I gotta go anyway, Dan. I'm cooking lasagna. So I hope you have a good rest of your show.
Lasagna at 8:30, Dylan.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of Jersey Shore, so I'm like real Italian now, and I guess that they eat at like 10 o'clock at night.
Dylan, I thank you for your story, and I want to let you know with cutthroat animosity that this is my show.
Yeah, we'll see about that, buddy.
What the fuck does that mean? This is my show. This is our show that I started. And if Dylan does anything to fuck that up, there will be hell to pay. I live on the second floor of a 3-story apartment building, and I don't play games. Drum roll for Sarah Nelson.
Hi, Dan.
Sarah, hello.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm great. I'm sitting on my deck, enjoying a fire. And
Very nice. Your apartment's very cool, and when Lydia and I went there, I was admittedly jealous. I think you have an amazing space, and deservedly so.
thank you. I think I've worked really to deserve this apartment. So I have a story. It's pretty embarrassing, and I don't know, like, it's okay. It's fine. So my cousin got married many years ago, and the wedding was in Indiana. So her husband's family was from the West Coast, and we're all from the East Coast, so we had to meet up in Indiana and have this party. So she had it at a golf course, and it was this giant resort that we stayed at. This house that we stayed in was 3 stories. It was amazing. So everybody pretty much had like their own floor. I got stuck on the floor with my little cousins, and then everybody else slept upstairs or down in the basement. So the 2 nights before the wedding, we had a bachelorette party. Since we were far away, we waited until we got there to have one, and decided to go out. And the theme was kind of like a Cinco theme. No idea why, but we wore sombreros and mustaches and went out as a girls' night dressed as men. So we all had a pretty good time and drank 35-cent Molson Dry in the basement of some bar and got pretty hammered. Don't ask me why it was 35 cents, and probably because it's disgusting. But there was a really cool ska band, and it was really fun. But we get back, and everybody kind of threw all of their bachelorette attire everywhere. So we had penises on keychains, penis-shaped balloons.
You and me both.
Sombreros, and it all just kind of went everywhere. So, we groggily wake up in the morning the next day and walk upstairs and like rubbing my eyes, and I see my cousin's daughter with a deflated penis balloon in her mouth, just going like this, with it kind of going everywhere. And we all just immediately started busting out laughing because the kids had no idea what they were, because at this point it looked like a heart on a stick. And yeah, it was pretty awful. And then my grandfather was sitting in the corner with them and making it be flaccid and erect, saying, "Me, there you go, and me now. There you go, there you go." And I feel okay saying that because he's since passed away, so he will never know I said this. But yeah, that was quite an interesting family event. So wild.
It definitely sounds it. I am the most curious about going into the basement of a bar, which is not usually public domain, and getting 35-cent Molson Dries. Did the man put the money you were giving him in his jean pocket?
I honestly, like, that was one of our last stops of the night, so I don't remember it too clearly, other than it being this kind of dirty basement with sticky beer and cups everywhere. This was a college town. It was a music school. It was everywhere on the ground. This beer tasted like shit. Like, it was still warm. That's why it was 5 cents. But the music was awesome, so it kind of made up for it.
You 100% went into a basement of a man that lived beneath a bar
No.
and was making money on his latest Walmart run.
No, it was a legit bar.
In the downstairs.
It was a basement bar. I have no idea. I have no idea.
Fair enough. I still think something is afoot there, Sarah. But again, you contribute every week. This is a lovely story. Bachelorette party, kid, and an old man getting involved in the, of course, giant accumulation of penises that happen with a bachelorette party.
But it's good. They still, to this day, have no idea that happened. So it's okay.
Perfect. Sarah, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I will see you next week. Kaboom! We're going with,
Okay, so
it is Miles Dyer.
yes, sir. So
How are you, my friend?
I'm good. I'm good. So I was supposed to tell the story a couple weeks ago, and I've been a busy boy, so I figured I owed it to you.
That is fine. We're all busy, and right now your 2 minutes are about to get busy, my friend.
All right. So
Keep saying my friend.
a couple years ago, I had this big ass cell phone called the Samsung like Galaxy Mega. It's like the size of a damn iPad. And I had it in my hoodie pocket, and it fell out into like a snowbank, I guess. Well, I ended up by like going inside my apartment at the time, and I'm like looking all over for it, and I can't find it, you know, whatever. A couple days goes by, and I'm like, well, I guess I'm gonna go get a new phone because I can't find my old one. So I go and get a new phone, and obviously I turn it on, so all the messages start coming through to me or whatever. Well, some dude picked up my phone out of the snowbank and was like texting his girlfriend being like, hey babe, just got a new phone, got a new number, you know, blah 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 blah. And so when I turned my phone on, I started getting all these like heinous messages being like, you gave me herpes, you forced me into an abortion, fucking blah blah blah. And I'm like, she's sending me like paragraphs like straight going off, you know. And I'm like telling her, I'm like, hey, you know, this is what happened. I dropped my phone. Your little boyfriend must have picked it up or whatever, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, call me if you don't believe that it's not him, you know, whatever. And she like refuses to believe what I'm saying. So like 5 days goes by of me like, you know, being like, hey, you know, call me and I'll prove that it's not him, you know, blah, blah, blah. And so she finally does, and she's like, well, hey, like, I smoke weed, and, like, I could, like, probably set him up for you to get your phone back if you want. And I'm like, okay, like, I could give you something to set him up for me. So she did, and I ended up by getting my phone back. But it was just funny to get all those crazy messages, I guess you could say. It was interesting events.
Yeah, that's wild. Those were those are probably the most rugged texts you could get. You gave me herpes and a child.
Yeah.
Those are the two things I think I fear most. So I don't want to push too hard if this is like a touchy subject. But when you say that he was like invested in weed or whatever, and he got set up to give you your phone back, how did that play out?
Well, so basically she was like, oh, give me some bud and I'll act like I want to see him, you know, and I'll text him and make sure he's still using your phone or whatever. So she did, and basically I rolled up with one of my buddies, and I was like, yeah, and the dude was so dumb, he literally met me in the driveway where he picked my phone up, and I basically was like, yo, you have my phone, like, give it back to me, I'm not going to be happy, you know, blah, 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 and he ended up by giving it back, thank God, but...
Man, number one, amazing story. Number two, I commend you. You came in at like a minute 30 and told the most succinct story. And good Lord.
I also have something I can offer. So, I mean, you probably don't want me to, Dan, but CJ told a Dick Domino story, as you all know.
Yes.
I happen to have been on the inside during that time period.
Please continue.
So, yeah, if you want me to tell you about that story. So, basically, there was this guy everybody called Florida. And he had like an actual surgery done where they put a pearl in your shaft, you know. So that's where everyone got this brilliant idea to where they would, you know, break a domino down and fucking, you know, shape it into like a crown or a W or whatever shape they could possibly think of. They would, we would get razors every morning, so they would take a blade out, you know, and put it in like a hygienic fluid, basically, that like the nurse would give you, I guess you could say. Cut their dick open, put the, you know, shape in, whatever it was that they made, and then glue it back up. But I've never seen so much bloody dick in my life, bro. It was so fucked up. Everybody was running around like, yo, check this out. And I'm like, no, I'm all set. I don't want to see this, you know. But there was literally people just running around, like so many people did it. It was so fucked up. and it was all
This
because
is
of one dude.
Dick Domino has been like the tent pole of this whole fucking show. It is the one thing that nobody will ever forget. And to have inside information, I feel like I'm on Hollywood Minute or something right now, being like, God, I got the inside guy, I got the mole of the group. That's fucking ridiculous. Also, the fact that somebody did it with a pearl, which is supposed to be rich and fancy, and somebody's like, yeah, all I have access to is dominoes.
Yeah, he literally
Shape
was like,
it
yeah,
up.
he was like, yeah, my girl loved it, and then it was like 10 dudes later, they all got their dicks cut open, they're gluing them back together and shit. I'm like, phew.
Miles, you had a fucking hell of a story, and then you gave us the inside scoop. Dropped my fucking phone again. I hate everything about this except for what you just told, Miles. I cannot thank you enough for your contribution tonight. This is an ongoing saga here, and you've contributed to it, and I can't thank you enough.
No problem. I love the show.
Thank you, Miles. Kaboom. Wow. I wish I had a news exclusive sound that was like, ba-da-da-ba-ba. Because then I could be like, wow. An inside man told us that they got the idea from pearls and then decided to do it with dominoes. This is fucking insane. Dick Dominoes is ridiculous. Eventually, I would one day love to do this show live from a prison because they're going to have the best 2-minute stories. But anyways, back to the show. We've got 2 people calling in. I'm going to go to the first of which, little drum roll, if you can hear that. Alex Ferris, hello, my friend. I also just want to point out, I've said, I pressed it twice instead of stop sounds. I've said my friend like 30 times tonight. I feel like a person that works at a gas station. What's up, Al?
We're all friends here, Dan. We're all friends here.
Thank you so much. I noticed for the second week in a row, you've got your plant.
Yeah. I just figured it was appropriate. I changed the plant. This one's the first week was Sophia's plant. This one is Megan's plant. Also, I don't know if you can see here, but my cat's been watching the show with us the whole time.
Very nice. The same cat that attacked me last time I saw it.
Oh, maybe that's why he wants to make amends.
Very nice. Well, in solidarity with you, I will, for this story only, also switch plants.
Nice. I like it. It's a different cactus. Did Lydia also get you that one?
Lydia also did get me this. I feel like I got the scraps that she didn't want anymore and felt bad throwing away.
Yeah, it's all right.
But Alex, your 2 minutes starts right now.
All right. So I was still in high school at this point, so it was quite a while back. But my dad had some building spot contracted for his new office. This was on Washington Street, and so he hired these people that he knew, friend of a friend, who could do a lot of these different things, electrician work, drywall work, like the whole nine. It was like a small group; they could all do everything. And they're inner city guys. They've never been up to like New Hampshire or even like out of Rhode Island, which is Providence, Rhode Island, which is just like they don't see trees or anything there. It's like it's real inner city, you know. So they get here and they're like in the woods and they're like, wow, this is the craziest thing I ever seen. Where they're at my dad's house. They're staying there. I forgot to mention that. And they get here pretty late, and you know, they've been on a really long drive. I could just tell in their eyes that they're ready for something, you know. Like, man, I never been out here in the woods. This is some crazy shit, man. Like, this is crazy. And so they're like, me and my friend Ryan get this bright idea. We've got a gorilla costume in the basement. We're like, man, we've really got to screw with these guys. Like, we've just got to. They're on high alert right now, paranoid as hell. And so we go in. I get this suit out of the basement, and I'm jumping from upstairs to downstairs as fast as I can, changing clothes. And I go from outside, downstairs, up the thing, and around to the basement, and I'm making all these noises, and all of a sudden these guys see us, and they're like, oh, shit, man, I think it's a bear, man, I think it's a bear. And they run to, like, the kitchen area, and my dad's house is glass all around, so, like, the whole deck, I had access to everything. So I run downstairs, and I change my thing, get all in my regular thing. I'm like, guys, what is going on? I'm trying to sleep downstairs. They're like, there's a fucking bear outside, man, there's a bear. I'm like, what? A bear? You know, I feed right into it. And so they get so paranoid, and I'll wrap this story up. It was a couple of layers of in between upstairs and downstairs. And so I get up in the morning and there's this dude, and it's one of the guys, there's one of three, he's still up in the kitchen, and he's like eking, and I'm like, "Hey man, you all right?" And he's like, "Man, I've been thinking about that thing all night, and I'd like to think it was a bear, but that wasn't no bear. You seen it run like that? It was walking like a man. I think that was some kind of Sasquatch or something." And I just lost it. My dad's sitting in the kitchen, and he just lost it. And just everybody, like, we couldn't hold it in anymore. I'm like, "Dude, I was messing with you. Like, there's my gorilla suit." I showed it to him because he was like gonna leave. He wasn't gonna do the contract. He was like, "I'm out. I'm done. I can't stay here."
So you almost cost your dad work, basically.
Yeah. Well, in between that, one guy actually got in this big fight with his wife, who like thought he was out cheating and like doing some other stuff, and like inside scoop, he was kind of like creeping at these local bars in Claremont, and it was funny.
Allegedly, that guy's a good guy, but he did get squashed.
You don't know him. He's half Indian. He's waiting on his claim here. So one day he'll.
You don't know him. He's half Indian.
He's half Indian. He's waiting on his claim.
I'll be honest, Al. You've made the decision for best story of the night this much harder, because that is an amazing story. Because
it's
to generate
telling 2 minutes.
Yeah, no, of course, and I understand that of anybody that calls in. If I like joke about it after, of course, I'm just making fun. 2 minutes to tell a story that has this much depth to it is always tough. But the fact that, number one, these people were there to do contract work for your father, which you almost lost. But number two, the fact that they almost didn't sign the contract, just being like, "There's fucking bears that walk like men around this place."
And I didn't think it was no bear, man. I'd like to think it was a bear, but that wasn't no bear.
And then they give you in the Sasquatch jam. That's an amazing tell-all.
Zach Thomas, I think he was there for this night. He might have been there. I see him in the comments, and it was a pretty amazing story. It was a good time in our lives in that high school jam.
Alex, like I said, you've made the decision that much tougher, because this is I love this story. You and Miles back to back, and then Sarah before, Dylan before that. We've had a hell of a night, and Al, you've only contributed to it. Thank you so much, my friend.
Thank you, sir.
God damn it! I gotta stop saying my friend. Safe. Thank you so much, bro.
Stay safe and have fun. And Dan, thanks for doing things like this during the time of quarantine, where it gets us something to look forward to every week. And hats off to you, my friend.
Al, thank you so much, and I can't wait to come. For those of you that don't know, I don't know if this is the appropriate time, but I don't care. Al and Megan are getting married, and we're all going to Disney World for the marriage. I don't care if our neighbors hate us. I host an Instagram live show, and it's important to me. I do think, in the fairness of the show, CJ brought in Dick Domino's. It's been brought up twice, and now we have an inside scoop on Dick Domino's. I think Miles takes the win on this one. But anyways, you guys, thank you so much for tuning into Not This One Time. Long story short, it's been an amazing ride. I appreciate every single one of you. I'll see you next Sunday.